Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture of the course Digital Signal Processing. In the previous lecture, we have introduced the concept of circular convolution and we have also looked at one simple example to see how to find the circular convolution. Now in this lecture, let us consider the linear and time invariant system with impulse response as h of n. So we have a discrete time system with input as x of n and output as y of n. Now we know that the input-output relation is given by the convolution operation. So we have this y of n given as x of n convolved with h of n. So this is the convolution operation. And we know that in the frequency domain, that is when we take the DTFT, that is discrete time Fourier transform, then we have this y of omega is equal to x of omega multiplied by h of omega. And we know that this is a simple multiplication, so convolution in time domain results in multiplication in the frequency domain. But we also know that in DTFT, that is discrete time Fourier transform, this omega is continuous in nature, and in order to have this as discrete, we go for discrete Fourier transform, that is DFT. So in order to get this y of n, or in order to have the frequency domain representation for this y of n, what we want is, we want this y of k to be equal to x of k into h of k. So we want this y of k to be equal to h of k into x of k, and we have seen in the previous lectures that this multiplication in this DFT domain results into, if we take its inverse, so it results into circular convolution in time domain. Therefore, this y hat of n can be given as this h of n circularly convolved with x of n. So basically, if we have multiplication in this DFT domain, so then we are going to get circular convolution in time domain. Now let us consider a simple example. Let us consider the same examples that we have considered in the previous lecture. So let us have this h of n be given as 1, 1, 1, and let the input, that is x of n, be given as 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one is located at 0. And when we take the convolution, then it results into y of n whose length is length of h of n plus length of x of n minus 1, so it would be 3, that is length of h of n, plus this length of x of n, that is 4 minus 1, which is equal to 6. So we would be getting y of n as a 6 length sequence. But now if we look at the circular convolution, so more specifically we have the value of n here as 4. So if we consider the 4-point DFT, and therefore we would be having this 4-point circular convolution, so what we were obtaining is 8769 as the result of this operation, and let this be given as y hat of n. But what we want is this y of n, which is the output of the linear convolution, given as 136974. Now clearly this y hat of n is not at all equal to y of n. So when we are desiring this operation, or when we are performing this operation, what we desire is we want linear convolution, not circular convolution, but what we are getting is this circular convolution. So now what we need to do is we need to use this circular convolution in order to get this linear convolution. Now one more thing that we need to observe here is, if we look at this 8 here, that can be represented as the addition of this 1 and 7. So it is 1 plus 7 equal to 8. Similarly, if we look at this 7 here, it can be represented as the addition of 3 and 4, which is equal to 7. Now if we check the index of, or if we check the position of the values here, so we know that this 1 is located at 0 and this 7 is located at 4. Similarly, this 3 is located at 1 and this 4 is located at 5. Now the thing that we can observe is this y hat of 0. So this y hat of 0 is basically equal to y of 0 plus y of 4. Similarly, this y hat of 1 is equal to y of 1 plus y of 5. Now we can write this as y of 1 plus y of 1 plus 4, or in general we can write it as y hat of n is equal to y of n plus y of n plus 4. So this 4 is basically the value of n that we have considered. So basically it is y hat of n equal to y of n plus y of n plus capital N. Now what we can observe here is this y hat of n is combination of y of n plus y of n plus capital N. Now what we want is this y hat of n should be exactly equal to this y of n, means we want this y of n plus capital N to be 0. Or in other words, this overlapping thing that we are getting here should be avoided in order to get the proper convolution using the circular convolution. So let us try one thing. So let us change the value of this n equal to the length of this convolution operation. So what we have is, let us consider this n as L1 plus L2 minus 1. So this L1 is length of the input, that is x of n. This L2 is length of the impulse response, that is h of n minus 1. So it is 4 plus 3 minus 1, and we had seen that it is equal to 6. And let us now find the 6-point circular convolution for x of n and h of n. And we know that the first step to do that is make the length of this x of n and h of n equal to the n, that is 6. So we need to append zeros in order to make them length 6. So we append 2 zeros at the end of x of n and we append 3 zeros at the end of h of n. Now once we do that, the next step that we need to do is represent this x of n and h of n in a circular fashion. So this is x of m. So we start from here. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 0, 0. So basically this is the increasing direction for n. Similarly, we have 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. So we have this h of n is equal to 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, and this x of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 0. So this location here is for m equal to 0 or n equal to 0, so it's simply a change of variable. Similarly, this position is for m equal to 0. Now once we represent this x of n and h of n in circular fashion, we need to flip this h of m in a circular fashion. So the one which was here will be now shifted here, so and the one which was here will now be available here. So we need to have a circular flipping for h of m. So we have this x of m and we have this h of minus m. Now once we have these two things, what we need to do is we need to just shift this h of m one by 1 unit in the increasing direction of this m. So when we have initially the value of n, that is shift equal to 0, so we have this x of m as it is, that is 1 2 3 4. If you observe here, the position of x of m is as it is, and the position of h of minus m, that is 1 1 1 0 0 0. And now we need to multiply the elements point by point and add. So what we get is 1 into 1 and rest all the terms are 0 here, so y of 0 is equal to 1. Now after that we need to shift it by 1 unit, so next we have the value of n equal to 1. So when we do it, what we get is this 1 multiplied by 1 and this 1 multiplied by 2, so it is 1 plus 2, that is equal to 3. Similarly, when we shift it by 2 points, so we get 1 into 1 plus 2 into 1 plus 3 into 1, so that results in 6. Similarly, for n equal to 3, we have 2 into 1 plus 3 into 1 plus 4 into 1, so that comes out to be 9. Similarly, for n equal to 4, that is 4 shifts, we have 3 into 1 plus 4 into 1, so it comes out to be 7. And similarly, for n equal to 5, we have 4 into 1 and rest all the terms are equal to 0, so y of 5 is equal to 0. So what we obtain now is this y hat of n, so more specifically it is y hat of n is equal to 1 3 6 9 7 4, and we know that the value of n is equal to 6. Now if we go back to our initial discussion and look at the value of the circular convolution, it was also 1 3 6 9 7 4. So what we observe is, if we consider n equal to 6, what we are obtaining is the value of this circular convolution equal to the value of the linear convolution. That is equal to y of n. Now, will it be true if we consider this value of n greater than 6? So yes, if we consider the value of n greater than 6, then also we would be having some extra terms that are going to be 0, because this overlapping that we are obtaining will not be equal to a finite value, because if we move ahead and append more number of zeros, then for higher values, that is, for example, this is a 6 length sequence, but if we consider the value of n as suppose 7, then the value of this y hat of 6 would be given by y of 6 plus y of 6 plus 7. Now this y of 6 will also have a value 0, and this y of n plus 6 will 6 plus 7 will also have a value 0. Therefore this overlapping thing will be avoided even if we consider the value of n greater than 6. So what we conclude here is, if we want to obtain a linear convolution using circular convolution, we need to wisely choose the value of this n at least equal to L1 plus L2 minus 1, where this L1 is the length of the first sequence, so let's say it is length of x of n. This L2 is length of h of n, that is second signal, and minus 1. So this is basically the length of the sequence that we are going to get for a linear convolution. So in this lecture, what we saw that if we want to obtain linear convolution using circular convolution, we need to consider the value of this n at least equal to L1 plus L2 minus 1, where L1 and L2 are the length of x of n and h of n respectively. So let's stop here. Thank you.